Welcome, Underlord, to UnderlordCentral, where you can find news about your dungeon, new techniques to slap your minions, and new ways to kill those saintly heroes. We will show you everything about War for the Overworld, a dungeon management game which is a diabolical fusion of RTS, RPG, and the God game genre. We will keep you informed throughout the Bedrock Beta with updates, room, unit, and trap info, strategies, and Underlord created content.
Hi guys, I'm John, though some of you who are active on the Subterranean Games forums might know me as RoboFish. I'm the group's designated native English speaker, and will be uploading videos based on whatever my fellow Underlords here fail to talk about. I'll also likely be the guy recording for some of the group projects we do.
Greetings, I'm known as Morium on the Subterranean forums, and I will be working on sound editing for UnderlordCentral, as well as commentating for some of the videos.
Greetings Underlord, I am Nigel Bale, the resident angry Hungarian. I will be one of the main contributors to this channel, my main subject being Linux-related news and possibly more spotlights, and also torturing juggernauts.
Hey guys, here's a little unscripted video just to demonstrate the actual game itself. There's three of us here, so there's me, John. We've also got, introduce yourself guys.
Alright, I'm Morium. Pete.
And I'm Beeffighter.
There we go. So we're down one member. Nigel has unfortunately managed to snap off his microphone or some such, I'm not sure exactly, but I'm sure we'll be seeing content from him soon enough. Anyway, let's get going with some actual gameplay. So I'm just going to click select map. As you can see, there are two maps currently. By the way, this is basically the initial build. It's kind of halfway between alpha and beta and even pre-alpha, but there's a little to look at the moment. So I'm going to go straight ahead and choose Goodly Conflict, because there's a bit more to see on that map. And here's the loading screen. So, what do we have to say before the game gets going? The game's going. So I'm just going to rotate the screen a bit. I appear to be the green keeper, rather than the traditional
it's a big
red.
difference from Dungeon Keeper itself, and I think we forget to mention that it's a Dungeon Keeper successor game.
A spiritual successor, yeah.
Spiritual successor. Not really.
They have no rights to any of the actual Dungeon Keeper content, but EA's more or less given them the thumbs up so long as they.
Legal.
Yeah, it's totally legal. So long as you they don't suddenly decide to put bar demons into the game, it should be good to go. So what do we see straight off? The imps are obviously claiming land and fortifying, just like in Dungeon Keeper. And we've got not a dungeon heart. It's currently called a nexus.
It's looking kind of weird.
Serves the same function. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird, but I think they're working on that.
I believe the name's subject to change
like
as well.
It's squeezed. So something squeezed that.
Ooh. The blood spray coming out the middle. Anyway, let's get digging. So we've got some gold here. So I'll just mine out a couple of bits of gold.
I think you forgot to mention, John, that it's gonna be on pre-order. Actually, it is on pre-order, and it's $22 for the regular edition, and Underlord is $35. So if you guys haven't bought it, please buy it, because this is an awesome game. It's gonna be very awesome.
So just to get things going, let's summon up some imps. You'll see I've got this little blue icon and the number 1000, so we've got 1000 mana. So I use mana to cast these spells here. So this first one here is Possession, which basically takes you into a first person mode controlling one of the creatures. I've also got Summon Imp, which I'm going to go ahead and cast several times. So each time you can see it costs 100 mana, and I have another imp each time. So we'll just max that out. And later on my mana should start regenerating. You also see I've got gold here, which is used for buying rooms. I think rooms are all currently at a set cost, the same cost. I think, is it 100 or 250 gold or something? Let's see. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 100
Sure
gold.
about that.
100 gold, but that's subject to change as well, I'm sure. Yeah, let's mine out a bit more. You can see I can select one tile and then drag it, and it, just like in Dungeon Keeper 2, it selects an area highlighted in green. We'll dig our way to the portal as well, so we can start getting some actual creatures. Get all the gold as well. You see my mana's regenerated, so let's grab some more imps. There's currently no real limit on how many imps you can have, so let's just get
but
tons.
it's advised you do not spawn more than 50, because otherwise the game would crash.
Yeah, I'll keep it fairly limited, but let's see if we can get it going at speed.
Alright, get that portal, man.
I'm sure when the actual game comes out, we'll never have 50 at a time anyway. I'm sure there'll be some consequences.
Yeah, I believe there is going to be only 4 at the beginning, and then you'll be able to buy some more with the Veins of Evil, I believe, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think you need... There's going to be something called Veins of Evil. So there'll be 3 Veins of Evil, and you'll get points, which you can spend on these, basically, trees, these evil trees, which unlock things. So they'll unlock your rooms, your spells, as well as other things like potions and traps and doors.
Rituals.
Sorry?
Rituals.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. So you can kind of focus down one of those veins to get the really powerful stuff, or you can branch out between them, because a lot of the very basic things will actually be you'll need to unlock. So you might not want to just go solely down one route. I find it hard not to want to just mine out all the gold.
That was the problem with me in Dungeon Keeper. I just always wanted to mine all the gold.
It's usually a good strategy, I think. There's actually not very much to do with the gold, yet it's a hard habit to kick. So should we mine out some room spaces? Let's just turn this into some kind of giant room.
Yep. Should look good then.
When I mine gold, I always try to make squares of it, because dungeon was to come like a Swiss cheese.
I often do the same.
Now
Yeah.
it's like a bit of a mess.
I often do the same, but the gold's...
was more squarey and everything right.
I generally used to opt for 5x5 size rooms, and the layout of the gold has not been kind towards that in this map, so just have a huge layer. So this is where the creatures will come and make their beds and sleep and bloody blah. Did I see a creature earlier? Yeah, so we've got an augur already, basically a kind of ogre. It will work in the foundry, which is this game's equivalent of the workshop. So you could say it's this game's equivalent of the troll.
When the augur levels up, he will augment different sorts of tools and armor to his body to make himself stronger in battle and at work. But that has yet to be implemented.
Let's get some more rooms as well.
Let's see the treasury.
The treasury? Oh, I was going to put a hatchery there, but I'll mine out the treasury. Let's make this a kind of uneven treasury. Doesn't really matter, I'm sure.
Actually, if you get that lower corner, there, be a good room.
Yeah. I should also make some space for a archive, which is this game's library. And although I guess with I don't exactly know how it will work with the Veins of Evil. I guess it will just help you unlock points towards them or something. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I thought they if
bit of
you
a foundry.
research enough things, you got points for the Vines of Evil.
Looks like we got a cultist there. So that's quite a lowly type of minion. Supposed to be quite a weak creature, I believe, but it'll be
He's
spending a lot of its time in the
also-
archive, I think. Plus, at level 10, you'll be able to basically cast a ritual to upgrade it once you've hit the top tier of one of the Veins of Evil. So it'll be kind of your equivalent of a Horned Reaper or such eventually, once you've put the work in. So let's go ahead and shove some more rooms down. So we got not the hatchery, the slaughter pen. So chickens won't be popping out. Instead, micro piglets.
Micro piglets, I love bacon.
Micro piglets
Oh,
stalk
yeah.
your dungeon.
Yes. And they fly too.
Yeah, they're flying.
They have been known to fly.
Around.
Very
Silly
cute.
little buggers.
Very, very cute. Unfortunately, slapping is not currently a function, so we can't yet see them explode. Not that I'm that
There's
cruel.
a new update will come out, which will to include the many bug fixes and
So there's the
Parmesan
archive.
cheese, I believe.
Yes.
Just gonna shove the treasury here. There's a treasury. Did I mine? I didn't actually mine out any space for a foundry, did I? So let's just shove a foundry down. It's very hard to see what I'm mining out here when you get further away, especially since I'm colourblind and it's currently a dark green. So
Yeah, I don't know why they don't fix it yet.
I'm sure with enough pestering that'll come. Maybe you should go on the forums and test it. Oh yeah, maybe we should mention the Subterranean Games forums if you have anything to say. I can't think what the URL for that is off the top of my head. I guess it's just...
subterraneangames.com, I believe.
Okay, sure. So yeah, you
Yes, it is. Subterraneangames, one word.com. I'm looking at it right now on my other screen.
so there's a suggestion section on there, and if you have anything you want to put forward, you can do so, and the devs do in fact listen quite a lot. They're very active on the forums.
This is the only game that I know that devs actually involved in the game
Yeah.
and the community so deeply. I've never had that experience before.
No, me neither.
Yeah, you'll often get direct responses, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. The creator of much bigger
Ooh.
games like Minecraft responds to you on the forum. That's such a big honor. But
like-
here it's normal that happens. Look,
Found our first
look,
heroes.
You got fire breathers right there.
Yeah, appears to be at least 3 fire breathers. They will be basically drinking from those kegs and breathing fire, or in theory they will. Looks like there's a lot more of them. At the moment that animation doesn't seem to be programmed in, so they'll drink from their kegs and then just kind of blow on us, but
The imps should take him out though.
yeah.
Basically the imps are very overpowerful right now, I believe so.
Yeah, I think pretty much all creatures, there's no real stats
yeah,
programmed
it
in. I
takes
think all
like
creatures
2
are...
imps to take 1 fire breather down. That's yeah. But in the future updates, they will be cowardly like in Dungeon Keeper. They will flee from enemies.
Always
Yeah.
remember this is a very early stage of the game, so what you're about to
Yeah.
see is not necessarily how it will go down in future.
Yes, I'm very disappointed about this team community because they keep
Ooh.
complaining about that.
Yeah,
the game-
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Well, here they come. Yeah, there's not really very much in the way of animations at all. They seem like the dead creatures just vanished altogether.
Can you get to the Juggernauts and all those guys?
Yeah, I'll work my way towards that. So that's this way, is it not? There's some impenetrable rock there, cannot be digged. Mined, or maybe I should say I'll summon a couple more imps. Not too many. So I'm not quite sure how many I have. But a couple just got killed off there, so...
I like the sound they make, man. It's so nice. and funny.
They're not really making any sound at the moment.
Yeah, they actually make sound. They're like, nah, 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 nah. I can't
Yeah,
make
they
it.
don't appear to have been doing so today.
Yeah, they shy today.
Usually you hear nothing but that sound. So, you know, I should stop mining out all this gold because it's really not of any value, and it's slowing down, showing off the game. And there's really not too much more to see at the moment, apart from maybe seeing the enemy base, so to speak. I suppose I might as well also take possession of an imp. Might as well be an imp since creatures are much the same at this time. So you move fairly slowly compared to imps in the previous games, although I believe that's subject to change. Like so many other things, let's just try and avoid those guys, because that is sure to be death. Let's have a quick little explore around. This tunnel seems to stretch on quite a way. Yeah, that's something that I think possibly needs to be fixed. When you get corners like this, you can just see straight through them. Well, maybe that's intentional.
But you
So
can
just-
walk through them.
I couldn't seem to walk through that one, so I just
You're
mined out
about
that
to
block.
Crash because
Yeah.
if you get died, I think you crash.
So I'll just avoid that by pressing space to jump out of that.
Well, they gamed
Ooh.
up on them.
That was interesting. See if we can find my way back. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they really need to make a minimap in that, because you get lost pretty easily.
I find myself.
If you pause the game, the cursor doesn't freeze, so yeah, you go up all to the corner of a map, so you have to find your way all back.
Let's face it, there's a lot of things they need to fix at this point.
Yeah.
But still, it's something to show though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome in my opinion.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for a very long time for this.
One thing you will have noticed there is, and generally speaking, there's a lot of fog of war in this game, and it is persistent. So if you haven't claimed an area, even if you've been there, the area will disappear as soon as you're gone.
Not like Dungeon Keeper.
No.
So there's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences in that aspect.
Don't
Also,
expect.
that's
Actually, one thing I liked about Dungeon Keeper, there was no fog of war.
Well, I think
always
it'll be
use
more
for that.
tactical in this, because you won't just be able to throw down spells into the enemy base once you've seen it once or whatever. It's kind of an extra defense, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, wait and see how it plays out, but I think I like the idea that there'll be persistent fog of war. There'll also be more use for the spell Prophecy, which is not currently in the game, but will basically be Sight of Evil, so you'll be able to select the spell, cast it somewhere and see what's going on over there. So that'll have a lot more relevance, I think. And that's also, for the record, in the Wrath tree. I don't think I actually named what the three trees are. So you've got Wrath, which is very offensive. I think it focuses largely around sort of beasts and highly aggressive behaviour. There's Sloth, which focuses a lot more on defences. So you'll have a lot more doors and that kind of thing. You'll be able to turtle up a lot more. And there's Greed, which should allow you to generate a lot more money and that kind of thing. Not too much is revealed about what will be in those trees, so only a few things, so we'll have to wait and see for the full lowdown on that. Yeah, slowly working my
You're
way.
approaching the
Yeah, I think you're right. The
base.
there we go, we can see it.
Oh, nice.
So we've got some guys just frozen in time. Well, if they're frozen in time like this, then this should be a pretty easy fight, right?
Yep.
Then there's some kind of activity going on over there. Rather interesting activity. Seems to be stuck on that bookcase there.
I'm not sure this is final. In Dungeon Keeper, the heroes had no rooms or such thing.
No, well, I'm not sure if they'll be using those
Yeah, they
rooms.
do.
I think there are cases where you came across rooms with heroes in, just like this. I don't think they're
Yeah,
really
but
making use of them.
But if it is final, then I should say that the rooms should look different for the heroes, because now they look, yeah,
So you'll see,
kind of evil, kind of.
like in Dungeon Keeper 2, I was able just to mine straight through their fortified walls there. Although I think Sloth will have a slightly tougher wall if you go down the Sloth tree. Although I'm not too sure how exactly that'll work, but they definitely are going to get some kind of different type of wall. Let's just mine straight through, shall we? Let's not spend ages tunneling, going all the way around. Unfortunately, I'm not able to pick up creatures or command them in any way at this time, so pretty much all of the combat is gonna be done by imps. It has to be said. But as I say, there's no real difference at this stage in the development.
I believe the imps called the workers in this game.
The blood imps. Blood imps is their actual name. Let's have a quick look back at my dungeon, taking the long route home. Let's follow the path so we don't get lost. Just see if there's any more creatures popped up, or if they've done anything interesting, like
Yeah, that's probably.
make their bed, or
They're making the different bed nowadays, do they?
the ogres hanging around in the... Oh, yep, we got a bunch of beds. We've got a gnarling there, which is basically a kind of... Ooh. So if we can, don't run away! This is some poor camera movement on my part. But he's basically a sort of goblin. His kind of feature though is he's going to be... So take a battle for instance. The battle's over, there's weapons and armour strewn all over the place. This creature will actually go around and pick those things up and use them in the future. So he'll basically scavenge and grow more powerful through it. We also just saw the gargoyle there. There we go, gargoyle. I think he's attracted by the treasury. Is that correct?
Yes.
I think he's certainly in the greed. I'm not too sure exactly what he's going to be capable. Yeah, I give up. What he's going to be capable of, but I am guessing he's going to be fairly defensive. I think he's going to be fairly stationary around your dungeon at times. Well, I could be wrong on that one front. Well, I'm all doing this all from memory, of course, rather than having some kind of document in front of me. Which was smart on
Most
my part.
creatures also belong to a specific vine. The augur belongs to sloth. The gargoyle belongs to greed, but I'm not sure about the cultist and the gnarling.
I think the
where they
cultist's
belong to.
going to be universal because there's going to be a function for him down the route of all three veins of evil. Although it could be you just have to invest some points. Because there's a couple of basic rooms which you get regardless of which vein you choose. So, help me out guys, what were the basic rooms again? Certainly
Looking on the UI.
Hmm?
I think the basic rooms, I'm not sure about that, but
we've come fully prepared here. I think it's going to be the lair, the slaughter pen, and possibly I think there was the tavern, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
So the tavern, I think, is where there's basically going to be two kinds of units. So you're going to have your intelligent units and your beast units. So your intelligent units will have one kind of place to go, and your beast units will have another. So your intelligent units will go to the tavern, whilst your beast units will go to the slaughter pen, I believe.
Maybe the beast
food.
pen.
I think you have to go into Raft to get the beast pen.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
it's one of the
That's what they
first
revealed
things.
yesterday.
Yeah. So that will be one of the early points of rough. Just like to get the summon imp spell, you actually have to go into, I think it's greed. So I think it's going to be fairly common that players will invest at least a couple of points in each of the trees fairly early on, unless they really want to focus on very specific things. So we're just going around here. There's really not much more to see. I mean, the Juggernauts are behaving very much like everything else. So we should probably think about wrapping this up in a second. Or maybe actually see some proper combat between some imps and some Juggernauts.
Just get him through.
Just mine out this wall, yeah? That will at least attract a load of imps, if nothing else. Oh, there we go. As you can see, one imp was no match for a Juggernaut. Although at this stage, I suspect 2 imps would be. Camera's turning very slow. It doesn't usually turn this slow for me.
No, it's because you're running too much information through your computer. So
The heroes seem to be laying waste to my imp forces at this time. It might be that I've just had lots of imps die, so maybe if I summon up a bunch, and we'll see how it fares then. Much better, I think. Yeah. Much more successful. Some reinforcements
they
in
are
there.
pros.
Let's have a nice little victory before we wrap things up, eh? How gripping. How exciting this action is. Actually, I don't seem to be doing too well here.
They keep dying.
Yeah, and not all of them jump straight on the combat, so... Although in the actual release, I'm hoping the imps won't jump into the combat all the time. Okay. We'll just see that last one die, and I think we'll call it a day. There's nothing really to see that, furthermore than that. There's no victory screen or any such thing, so... I think that about wraps it up. That's War for the Overworld at its earliest public accessible stage. So expect to see more, both in the game and from us.
Yep.
So let's see the menu screen there. Go to main menu. And should we say goodbye?
Yes.
Goodbye from me.
So, goodbye.
See ya. Right. My game's actually crashed now, so